Hi, file list concept in Informatica. Using single Informatica mapping, we can load multiple source files in a single data load. For this, all source files should have the same data structure. To achieve this, we have to create a session to run multiple source files for one source instance in the mapping. And to use multiple source files, we have to create a single data file. That file should contain all the names and directories of the files that we want to process using Informatica single mapping. That concept is called file list concept. Here I will create a few files. I am opening Informatica source directory, server, infra shared, source files. Here I will create source files. List 1. I am inserting the data 1 comma A, 2 comma B, 3 comma C. I am saving the file, and I will create another file with the name list2, and the data is 4D 5E 6F. Now using single Informatica mapping, I will load these list1 and list2 files in a single mapping data load. For this, I will create a list file and giving the name as file underscore list. In this file, I will give the path of these two list1 and list2 files. This is the file path. list1.txt, the same one. Here I will pass this file list to Informatica. So Informatica will take this highlighted one file from the specified directory, and it will load using that mapping. And then next it will take the another file from the specified path. Now I will go to the Informatica designer to create a mapping. I will create a source, import from a file. Server infra shared source files. I am taking the all files, that is, here I will create a plot file with the same structure that we are loading. So here I am taking the structure of the list1 file. We can also take the other file, that is list2. Here the structure should be same as the file structure. Here I will take the delimited as comma separator. Start imported row 1. So I am not changing any property. So here also I am not changing anything. Now I will change the field name, that is for ID, and the data type is numeric. And for field 2 I am giving the changing the name. I am giving the name as name. So ID and name. For name I am changing the width. Yeah, for now its length 1 is enough. I will take 10. Finish. I have created a flat file. Yeah, for this with the same structure in my SQL Server database, I have a table. In target database. Yeah, the table name is list file. Now I will create an Informatica mapping. M underscore list underscore file. I'm taking the source list 1. Here I don't have list file target here. I will import the target to target designer. The table name is list file. So this is a simple Informatica mapping to load multiple files that are having the same structure using a single mapping data load. Here I have only 2 transformations, one is target transformation and another one is source transformation. Here I have mapped this ID and name to target transformation. Yeah, mapping is completed. I have saved the mapping. Now I will create a session. In the session I will configure the settings to load multiple files using the list file concept. I will create a session for this. S underscore M underscore list file. I am associating this to yeah, I can remove this one. Yeah, I am associating this to our created mapping. Now I will change the mapping properties in the mapping tab. The connection properties to the target DB connection to target database, that is our list file table exists in target database. And source is the FTP connection, that is file transfer. Yeah, and here we have source file type, that is, so if you want to suppose if our mapping is processing only a single source file, in that case we have to specify the direct as a source file type. Means directly if we are loading the data of a list file, we have to specify that is a direct as a source file type. But here we are using a single file that contains a file path and directories. Using that file we are loading multiple files, so here the source file type is indirect, that is the indirect concept to load the multiple files. And here we have to give our list file name. Here file underscore list .txt. Here this file underscore list contains the file paths that we are going to load using the Informatica mapping. So for list file we have to specify the source file type as indirect, and just verifying the properties here indirect. Here by default the source file directory path is set to our source directory and target is set to the table name. Fine, I'm saving the session. I will create a workflow. W underscore list underscore file. I'm joining these two using a line task. I'm saving the session. Now I will run this workflow. At present we don't have any data in file list table, that is list to file table. Now I'm running this session. Start workflow from the top. Okay. Here session ran successfully. I am looking into the table. Here table we can see that the ID is 126 and the name A2F are loaded into this table. Here in our list1 file we have the data 123 data, and in the other table we have 456 data. So the two file data is loaded into this table. If we want to check with another thing, so we can create another file and changing the name. Only I am changing the IDs here and updating the list 3 file path in the file list. So if I run the mapping now, it will load again list 1, list 2 files, and apart from that it will also load the list 3 file. I am running the session. I'm executing this one. So here we can see that 789, that is list 3 file data is loaded into this table. This is the file list concept in Informatica. For this majorly we have to change the session level properties, and for all the source files the structure should be the same. Means the file structure, the number of fields which are existing in all files should be same, and the file source file type property should be indirect in the session log, that is in session properties. Your file directories. Here the source file type should be indirect for file list, and rest of the thing is same. If we change this to direct, it will load that file data into the target table. If we change it to indirect, it will go through the directories which are specified in the path, and it will find out the each and every file which are associated with that specified path.